Fairy Tale, Recruiting Mirajane at the Start. Chapter 21. The Magic Library. The Magic Library is not so much a new function as it is a special building. The library can automatically collect the magic mastered by every guild member and every person who enters the guild, and organize them into a book. And will guide everyone who enters the magic library to find the most suitable magic book. More importantly, the magic library will also conduct a deeper deduction of the magic in the library. In this world, many wizard guilds have their own stacks or libraries. The libraries of some old guilds even recorded their multi-generational research and improvement on magic. This is the heritage of the old guild. Originally in this area, the Phoenix Guild was relatively inadequate. But now, with the magic library, this shortcoming will also be filled. Even the magic library may become a hallmark holy place of the Phoenix Guild. Ding! It is detected that the host has many magic ideas. Do you summarize them in the magic library for deduction? Soluo was taken aback by the system's words. But after reacting, he decisively chose to agree. After taking the talent enhancement liquid, legend, Soluo had too many ideas about magic in his mind. But it takes too long to research and test these ideas. It is better to summarize it into the magic library for deduction. When the time comes to get the results of the deduction from the magic library, and then carry out further experiments, it will definitely be more convenient and the effect will be better. Hundreds of magic ideas have been summarized, and the magic library is being deduced. Soluo opened the guild interface again. Phoenix Guild. Guild level, leave 2 to stand out, reputation value 516/10,000. President, Soluo. Guild members, Mirajane, Elfman, Lysina, Yukino. Special building, magic library. The guild interface has not changed on the whole, but the reputation value required for the guild to be upgraded to level 3 will be more. However, the reputation value is still slowly improving at this time. Because the event of destroying the Catherine Guild is still spreading. After closing the guild interface, Soluo walked out of the room and went around inside the Phoenix Guild. Soon, he saw a small but magical library in the backyard of the guild. Stepping forward to the magic library, the heavy door opened automatically. After walking into the library, Soluo found out that there is no heaven here. Outside, the library covers an area of less than 100 square meters, but inside, there are tens of thousands of square meters. Maybe even bigger. Soluo couldn't help but admire this kind of space folding technology. And the magic library has 3 floors in total, and a large number of bookshelves are distributed on each floor. Unfortunately, there are still very few magic books on the bookshelf. It seems that I have to find opportunities in the future to invite some people who are knowledgeable about magic to come to the guild as guests. Soluo touched his chin, and the first thing he thought of was Makaro from Fairy Tale Guild. But he quickly shook his head again. This kind of thing, let's talk about it later. After leaving the magic library, Soluo took out the heart of the Crimson Bird and continued to crack the seal. It has to be said that to be able to seal the core ability of the SS level treasure Crimson Bird's heart, it must also be an extremely powerful wizard. Soluo could perceive that this seal magic is extremely strong and difficult to crack. Even if he uses the power of the Lord of 10,000 Demons, it will take a lot of time to break the seal. It was not until the evening that Soluo completely lifted the seal of the Crimson Bird's heart. Tweet! The melodious and loud birdsong sounded, and a ghost floated out of the red bird's heart on Soluo's hand. Different from the black ghost released by magic, the color of this ghost is crimson. Just looking at it, you can feel the scorching heat. From today, the Phoenix Guild will be guarded by you. Soluo smiled and placed the Crimson Bird's heart in a relatively hidden place in the guild. Tweet! The dead soul of the Crimson Bird circled in the sky above the guild, then turned into a spark and disappeared. But Soluo knew very well that the other party had just returned to the heart of the Crimson Bird. Count the time, Mirajane should come back too, right? After dealing with the Crimson Bird's heart, Soluo looked at the guild gate. In the morning, the 3 of Mirajane took some commissioned tasks and went out. Most of these commissioned tasks were previously taken from the ministers of the council's stronghold. However, there are also some commissioned by clients who recently visited. After the Phoenix Guild became famous, many people now come to entrust missions. For this reason, Soluo received those clients all morning. Being able to attract clients to come, this proves that the Phoenix Guild is already on the right track. In addition, the difficulty of these commissioned tasks is not very high, and it is not far from Tank City. Mirajane, 4 people can complete more than a dozen commissioned tasks in almost a day, which is extremely efficient. In this way, Soluo does not have to worry about the newly arrived commissioned task, it will be delayed for a long time before it is completed. But not all tasks are so easy. There are also a small number of commissioned tasks that are close to the S level, which is more troublesome. These tasks, with Mirajane's current strength, can't be completed at all. Maybe I need to take action. Soluo thought to himself. As the president of the Sorcerers Guild, in addition to managing his own guild, it is normal to perform difficult commissioned tasks. After all, you can't just leave all the entrusted tasks to the wizards under your command, right? At the same time, on the main street of Tang City, a girl with crimson hair and wearing a knight armor is looking around curiously. Chapter 22. Mirajane and Urza. Have you heard? The Phoenix Guild is back again. I heard that their guild leader eliminated the powerful wizards of the Dark Guild and defeated all the more than 400 wizards of the Catherine Guild. Isn't it? I thought that the Magic Wizards Guild in Tank City would be changed, but I didn't expect the president of the Phoenix Guild to be so powerful. It's great, we can live with peace of mind. Walking on the street, Urza could not help being a little curious as he listened to the vigorous discussions of passers-by. She came to Tank City with a mission this time, thinking it was just an ordinary remote city. Unexpectedly, there is also a wizard guild here. Moreover, it seems to be very strong. Is it possible for the Phoenix Guild to eliminate the Catherine Guild in the northern region? It is indeed not to be underestimated. Since Tank City is the other side's territory, do you want to visit first? Urza continued walking with a stern face, but hesitated inside. If she is an ordinary wizard, then there is no problem. But the problem is that she came with a commissioned task. Under normal circumstances, all entrusted tasks within Tank City must be accepted by the local Wizards Guild. This is almost the default rule of all wizard guilds in the magic world. After all, no one wants to see the client on their own site and keep running out. But the situation is a bit special right now. Not long after the Phoenix Guild was resurrected, the task Urza had on hand was sent to the Fairy Tale Guild more than 10 days ago. So when this happens, Urza is also a little entangled, whether or not to visit the Phoenix Guild. Urza is thinking about it, and he doesn't pay too much attention to walking. Suddenly, a small figure hit her. Oops! Yukino fell directly to the ground and stretched out his hand to cover his aching forehead. When she looked up and saw Urza, she couldn't help but feel puzzled. Why does this girl wear such a heavy armor? Yukino, are you okay? Hey, you bumped into someone, don't hurry to apologize. The belated listener hurriedly picked up Yukino, while Mirajane looked at Urza with a ferocious look. I admit I was wrong, but I didn't hit her on purpose. According to the situation just now, if she walks seriously, she won't hit me. Urza analyzed clearly. I'm sorry, it's all because I was fascinated by watching the show next to me, so I didn't watch the way. Yukino apologized. It was also the first time she watched a street magic show, and she was fascinated for a while without holding back. Humph, but you also didn't look at the way. Yukino has already apologized, so it's your turn. Mirajane also understood everything, but she still stood on Yukino's side. As the eldest sister of the guild, she would never see her peers being bullied. Well, that's what I said. This little girl, I'm sorry to knock you down. Urza nodded solemnly, then apologized to Yukino. It's just her attitude that makes Mirajane feel inexplicably annoyed. Everyone is about the same age, so what kind of adult are you pretending to be? Just as Mirajane was about to lose her temper, she was caught by Yukino. Master Mirajane, that's enough. Seeing Yukino's eyes with a hint of pleading, Mirajane was helpless. This new member is good at everything, just likes to give people a respectable name at every turn. There is also some weakness in personality. Since Yukino has said so, it can only be this way. The helpless Mirajane can only stop there. After giving Urza a ferocious look, Mirajane took everyone away and returned to the Phoenix Guild. Urza glanced at it without paying attention, and moved on. And the direction she was heading was also the Phoenix Guild. I said when on earth are you going to follow? Coming to the door of the Phoenix Guild, Mirajane turned around and pointed at Urza, speaking in a bad tone. So you are all wizards of the Phoenix Guild. I am actually the wizard of Fairy Tale Guild, because the mission this time involves the issue of guild territory. In order to avoid disputes, I want to resolve it. Urza's face was extremely calm, as if nothing could arouse her attention. Hey, it turns out to be the wizards of other guilds. So, you are very strong? Do you dare to fight a game? After learning that Urza was also a magician, Mirajane immediately became interested. The tasks performed these days are too easy, she has never encountered an opponent. Almost all of them dealt with the opponent directly as soon as they entered the receiving state of the whole body, and even the magic that they had researched was useless. So Mirajane wanted to play a game with Urza at this time. This is not only to be confident in his own strength, but also to see Urza upset, wanting to take the opportunity to beat the opponent. If it's just something that makes you feel bad, I can apologize here, but I won't waste time fighting you for this. After all, I'm still a kid, always showing up his mind, can't I be more mature? Urza sighed helplessly. However, this tone caused Mirajane's anger to burst directly. Chapter 23. The Battle of the Old Enemy. Cut, just one sentence. If you don't fight, do you dare to pick it up? Girl in armor. Mirajane was completely blown up by Urza and directly nicknamed the opponent. After Urza heard girl in armor, his expression couldn't be stretched after all. Girl in armor. Since I have to fight, then I have to do it. Urza showed a fierce look, and casually summoned a magic sword from the magic space. If you have this intention, let's go to war. Ahem. Just as the battle was about to start, a cough came from the side. When everyone turned their eyes, they saw that Sol Luo's figure had appeared at the gate of the guild somehow. I said, you guys, even if it's a discussion, you have to go to a more spacious place, right? This is the center of the city, which can easily cause trouble. Sol Luo feels helpless. At the same time, he was surprised by the appearance of Urza. No wonder Mirajane will be blown up, and the relationship is met with an old enemy. I understand, President. Mirajane nodded. You can call it internally, but if you meet an outsider, Mirajane insists that Sol Luo must be called the President. She thinks this is the most basic etiquette. Are you the President of the Phoenix Guild? I am the Wizard of Fairy Tale Guild, Urza Scarlet. I'm sorry, I was rude to this matter. Urza also calmed down and apologized to Sol Luo. After all, this is also the other party's territory. If you cause trouble, you will definitely be reprimanded by the old man when you go back. It's okay, you haven't started fighting anyway. But you are the Wizard of Fairy Tale. Is there something going on here? Sol Luo waved his hand to indicate not to care, and at the same time was curious about Urza's appearance. That's it, I received a mission in our guild, and the mission location is in Tank City. I didn't know the existence of your guild before I came, so I hope you can understand and consider this mission. Urza's attitude is extremely sincere, but in Mirajane's eyes, it looks different. Tisk, the mission within Tank City should be performed by our Phoenix Guild. Are you a little out of bounds? Mirajane was very rude, but there was nothing wrong with it. There is a Phoenix Guild in Tank City, so the commissioned tasks within this range should be taken over by the Phoenix Guild. This is the rule that every sorcerer guild in the magic world must abide by. Sol Luo is also very clear about this. It's just that for Urza's situation, he also guessed it. It is estimated that the previous Phoenix Guild was too non-existent, leading to the outflow of delegated tasks. This is also reasonable. After all, compared to the former Phoenix Guild on the verge of disbanding, posting the mission to a well-known wizards guild such as Fairy Tale Guild is the safest way to do so. So Sol Luo didn't think there was anything wrong with Urza. It can even be said that the other party knows this and comes here to ask for consent. This attitude already values the Phoenix Guild very much. If you change to some high-spirited wizards, it is estimated that you can directly ignore the existence of the Phoenix Guild and run to perform the task. Okay, Mirajane, needless to say about this. In fact, the matter is not as serious as expected, Urza, you can carry out the task with peace of mind. Sol Luo shook his head at Mirajane, and then said to Urza. Since the president has said so, then I have no problem. Sol Luo opened his mouth. Mirajane naturally wouldn't say anything, but felt a little aggrieved. Thank you for your understanding. After getting consent, Urza was also relieved. By the way, if you are willing to compete for a match, why not go to the nearby forest to compete? Sol Luo naturally saw Mirajane's suffocation. In order to prevent his members from being wronged, he took the initiative to propose this battle. Of course, he also wants to know whether Mirajane, whose cultivation has been accelerated, is stronger than Urza now. Girl in armor, do you dare? Seeing that Sol Luo offered to fight, Mirajane immediately regained her instincts and provoked Urza. It's not a bad thing to have a match. Please forgive me if you offend. Urza glanced at Mirajane and said seriously. Of course, please fight as much as you like. Sol Luo nodded. But for Urza's mature appearance, Sol Luo also felt a little weird. However, the other party also closed his heart because of the R system incident and became what it is today. So he didn't say much. Soon, everyone came to the outskirts of Tank City, the outer area of the evil ancient forest. Mirajane and Urza stood in opposition, and without a word, they used magic directly. The whole body receives the soul of Satan. Dress up magic black feather sword. Black light and white light flashed by. I saw Mirajane directly enter the whole body receiving state. Urza, on the other hand, still wears the original knight armor. There was just an extra sharp black one-handed sword. The battle between the two is about to start. Chapter 24. The Armor of Purgatory, full of firepower. Mirajane entering the whole body receiving state. Urza holding a black one-handed sword. The two attacked almost at the same instant. Ding! The pale golden claws collided with the one-handed sword. All of a sudden, they were evenly matched. This guy, how can there be such a powerful force? Mirajane and Urza were surprised inwardly. After the former stepped into the body to receive, almost crushed all opponents, while the latter was a genius magic swordsman who had cultivated for a long time. After realizing that they were equal in strength, the two began to put away all contempt and take the battle seriously. At the next moment, Mirajane used both claws and bounced the one-handed sword directly. The hideous pale gold claws drove in, as if to tear Urza's neck apart. Ding! But the one-handed sword swung back with one blow, splitting the claws. Urza lowered and slammed into Mirajane. The Iron Knight's armor was accompanied by a tyrannical impact, directly knocking Mirajane over. Mirajane only felt like she had been hit by a magic train, and a strong pain came from all over her body. Immediately afterwards, her pupils narrowed, and a donkey rolled around quickly, avoiding Urza's victory and chasing sword. Boom! The grass that was chopped up was directly torn a few meters long. Black feather moonlight. Urza got close to Mirajane again and quickly cut out a cross-cutting slash in a straight line assault. A faint sword aura shot through the air, making Mirajane feel a tingling scalp. This sense of crisis is far stronger than what I felt from Warcraft before. Damn it, how could my old lady lose to this kind of guy? Darkness rushes. Mirajane instantly constructed a dark magic circle with both hands. The powerful, tyrannical, and dark aura hits her face, and Urza can't help being stunned. Hey! A pair of thick dark claws protruded from the magic circle, instantly smashing the sword energy. This was not over yet. For a moment when Urza was stunned, the dark claw also knocked her away. Ahem! In the dusty, Urza slowly got up and reached out to wipe the blood from the corners of her mouth. She was careless. I didn't expect Mirajane to master such a powerful magic. And this magical breath is too evil and cold. The first time I touched this kind of magic, Urza didn't react at all. Looking at Mirajane's figure, Urza did not know why, as if seeing a hideous smiling face appeared behind him. It seems that the other party is the incarnation of the devil. Haha, armor girl, you seem to be dying. Noting the blood on the corner of Urza's mouth, Mirajane couldn't help but mock. Hey? Girl in armor. Originally, Urza was still in a daze, and her face turned dark. I hope you don't cry and give up before you fall. Change magic armor of purgatory. A burst of white light suddenly appeared, and the next moment, the armor on Urza's body turned into a set of black armor with thorns. At the same time, the black one-handed sword in his hand has also become a huge serrated knife. Originally, she didn't want to use her strongest mode. After all, this is the Phoenix Guild, so you have to give Sol Luo face no matter how you say it. But Mirajane took a mouthful of an armored girl, so Urza couldn't help but go crazy. This is my strongest form. No opponent has ever survived in front of it. Hehe, just keep blowing and see how I can blow up your ugly armor. Mirajane showed disdain, but there was a bit of dignity in the bottom of her eyes. Compared to the previous state, Urza is now significantly stronger. This is not only because of the armor and weapons, but more importantly, the opponent's magic power is being quickly mobilized. Hey! Suddenly, Urza exploded faster and appeared in front of Mirajane before she could react. Boom! The next moment, Mirajane was blasted directly into the air, knocking down several towering trees in a row before stopping. Elder sister! Master Mirajane! Lisana and the others couldn't help screaming. Soluo watched the battle silently and had some estimates of Urza's strength. Urza awakened as early as 2 years ago in the dress-up magic night. After constant practice and experience, his strength is naturally extremely strong. After all, her talent is also very tyrannical. Although the other party has not yet developed to the level of the original work, it is not bad anymore. But Mirajane won't stop here. In the Phoenix Guild, her magic power training speed has been greatly accelerated. With the blood of the devil, he can grasp the power of the soul of Satan faster. So her strength is not much weaker than Urza. There was a sound of breaking through the air, and Mirajane was seen spreading out his wings and soaring into the sky. Fanfiction is the advantage she has after entering the whole body to receive. This trick is not mature yet, but I have to use it first. A hint of hesitation flashed across Mirajane's face, but she quickly made up her mind. With the president, she can let go. With both arms open, Mirajane whirled quickly in mid-air, and the dark magic quickly leaked out of the body. With her rapid rotation, the dark magic gradually formed a light purple hurricane. Ultra sadistic violent. Chapter 25. Urza's shock. Ultra sadistic violent. The light purple hurricane turned extremely fast, and the surrounding trees and rocks were shattered in an instant. With the gradual destruction of the environment, the hurricane also accelerated towards Urza. Urza's eyes were extremely solemn at the moment. This attack is very strong, beyond imagination. However, her armor of purgatory is not a display. A magical power emerged from Urza's body and quickly enveloped her body. In the next moment, she raised the serrated knife covering the magic power and leaped towards Mirajane. Hey! As soon as it touched the hurricane, a slight crack appeared in the armor of purgatory. As Urza kept getting closer to Mirajane, the cracks in her armor of purgatory became more serious. Even an attack has penetrated through the cracks, hurting her body. Silky blood oozes from the armor. I must beat her. With firm conviction, Urza slashed fast. Boom! Faced with a slash with magical power, Mirajane had to bite the bullet in order to maintain the hurricane. It's a pity that even if she enters the whole body receiving state, her body still can't resist this level of attack. In the end, Mirajane was shot down. And Urza also endured the final baptism of the hurricane. The armor of purgatory shattered into several pieces. Boom! Both figures fell to the ground. Puff! Mirajane spit out a mouthful of blood. Urza gasped, and as the fragments of the armor of purgatory continued to fall, dense scars were exposed. The snow-white skin is covered with blood, giving people a feeling of dying. Both of them struggled to get up and stared at each other. Even if the body is almost unable to support it, he is still unwilling to admit defeat. The fighting spirit was still burning in their eyes, but it was a pity that the injuries they received made it difficult for them to continue fighting. Well, this battle will end in a tie. If you continue to fight like this, your life will be in danger. Soluo hurriedly stepped up to announce the result, stopping Mirajane and the others from thinking of continuing to fight. Just kidding, it will kill you if you continue to fight like this. However, Mirajane was able to tie Urza, which really surprised Soluo. In other words, Urza is also a sorcerer who has practiced for 2 years. Mirajane is full of calculations, and it takes less than a month of training to be able to tie the opponent, which is really amazing. Then Soluo picked up Urza and Mirajane and placed them on the grass. Ignoring the stare between them, Soluo unleashes the magic power of the devil's destruction god. Soon, a deep magic power quickly enveloped Mirajane and Urza. At the same time, their injuries are recovering quickly at a speed visible to the naked eye. This is the special magic of the gods, which can heal injuries. Not only can heal himself, but he can also heal others. It's just that god-killing magic is extremely difficult to practice, and healing magic is also a lost magic. So now some people are injured and they are all treated with herbs. In the process of healing from the injury, Mirajane was okay, but Urza was shocked. She spent more than 2 years in the Fairy Tale Guild, and it was the first time she had seen magic that can heal injuries. More importantly, the healing effect of this magic is too fast. A few minutes later, Soluo has completed the treatment. Mirajane and Urza got up one after another. At the same time, I can't believe it and move my body. Urza was shocked to find that her state had been restored to its original state. This is too great, right? It only takes a few minutes to recover all my injuries. Urza looked at Soluo in disbelief. However, what she doesn't know is that this is not Soluo's full strength, otherwise it could be faster. Of course, as the president of our Phoenix Guild, Brother Soluo is very powerful. Seeing Urza's expression, Mirajane couldn't help but speak proudly. Well, it's not early, let's go back first. Soluo glanced at the sun slanting westward, and said to everyone. On the way back, although Mirajane and Urza still had big eyes and small eyes, their relationship eased a bit. After returning to Tank City, Soluo originally wanted to invite Urza to the Phoenix Guild as a guest. But after hearing that the other party had already found a hotel, he stopped asking for it. Brother Soluo, when did a library appear in the backyard of our guild? In the Phoenix Guild, I found Yukino of the Magic Library and asked in doubt. There will be no such thing tomorrow morning. Oh, that's the library I just built. There are some books on magic and different development ideas for some magic. If you are interested, you can go and read it. It's just that there are fewer books at the moment, and more books will be filled in the future. Soluo explained calmly. Currently, there are still too few books in the magic library. Except for some of my own ideas, many magic books are very low-end. So Soluo didn't think much about it. Mirajane and the others can read it anytime if they are interested. Anyway, the significance of the existence of the magic library is to allow guild members to gain more magic knowledge, thereby strengthening themselves. However, Soluo did not realize that the magic library was even more special than he thought. Chapter 26. The Crooked Library. Magic Library. When Mirajane and others heard this, they withdrew from meditation practice. They are also very curious about this new building. Especially Soluo also said that there are some new ideas about magic, which makes Mirajane and the others want to take a look. Could there be anything about the magic they used? The four decisively ran out of the guild hall. When they came to the backyard of the guild and saw the extraordinary magic library, the three Mirajane were shocked. Although Yukino had watched it once, he still felt shocked at this moment. Brother Soluo is really amazing. With excitement, the four of them stepped into the magic library one after another. As soon as the front foot stepped inside, they had a very mysterious feeling. It seemed that there was something unknown, guiding them in a direction. Following this feeling, Mirajane unknowingly came to the third floor of the library. There are many bookshelves here, but the bookshelves are still relatively empty at this time. Suddenly, a dark purple magic book came into Mirajane's eyes. She subconsciously picked up the book and saw the four characters on the cover at the same time. Suzuonangu. Suzuno? Is it some powerful magic? Mirajane thought to herself and opened the cover. However, just looking at it like this, she was completely caught in it. Suzuonohu, the power of the legendary god, is known as the superpower of the god of destruction. Once activated, the world can be destroyed in an instant. The full body of Suzuo can even split the two mountains easily with a single knife. Mirajane became more frightened as she watched, and at the same time she felt very excited. It is this kind of magic, as powerful as a devil, that is my pursuit of Mirajane. Is this the magic that the president specially deduced for me? It's too great. Only then did Mirajane understand what Soluo's different magical development ideas meant. However, she didn't know that the magic library could deduce it on its own, only that it was a special deduction by Soluo. Then Mirajane continued to read and quickly understood the characteristics and use of this magic. First burst out the magic power in the body, let it materialize, and then construct an energy form exoskeleton, which can improve defense and destructive power. If it is possible to construct the huge form of a half-length skeleton, then it is the embryonic form of Suzuno. With the output of magic power, the skeleton form gives birth to meridians, fleshy skin, and armor, and gradually evolves into a half-length giant. This is the semi-mature body of Suzuonohu. If a complete giant form is constructed and can walk, then Suzuo can enter the mature body. On the basis of the mature body, expand the size of the giant, wear armor, wings on the back, and hold two swords. This is the complete body of Suzuno, that is, the true power of God. It can destroy the sky with your hands. Destroy the land. Mirajane got more excited as she watched, and continued to learn along the knowledge in the books. Hey, why am I here? On the second floor of the library, Elfman looked blank. As soon as he entered the library, he came here inexplicably. Even this move did not go through his thoughts, as if it was subconsciously driving the body. But when he saw a book on the empty shelf around him, I couldn't help picking it up directly and glanced at it twice. What a strange book, is this really magic? It's hard to imagine that there is a magic called Bayman Dungia, which is not domineering at all. Seeing 8 doors Dungia written on the cover of the book, Elfman felt weird. But when he opened the book, he was immediately attracted. Every person has 8 corresponding doors in his body. The 8 doors of the human body impose different levels of restriction on each person. This is a self-protection mechanism of the body to avoid exploding excessive force, thereby damaging the body. But if it is to liberate the 8 limits of the human body, whether it is speed, response, and strength will be greatly improved. In other words, can you become a strong person without relying on pure magic and taking the path of physical skills? Elfman's eyes lit up, and he kept reading. When he saw that the 8 doors of Dungia opened, every time he opened a door, he would get several times improvement, he was even more immersed in it, unable to extricate himself. However, he also noticed that every time a door is opened, the user will endure intense pain. And once the dead door is opened, there is a risk of death. Opening the dead door will form an 8-door Dungia formation, thus gaining dozens of times more power. But the risk is almost mortal. Unless there is a special ability to contain this mortal situation. But at the back of this book, another way is pointed out. Modify the meridian route and replace the dead door with the second source of magic, thus forming a formation of the 8 doors Dungia. This approach will lead to the strongest power of the 8-door Dungia, which is slightly lower than expected, but it will also minimize the risk and avoid direct death as soon as the dead door is opened. Seeing this, Elfman understood, but didn't fully understand it. The meridian system of the human body and the way of using magical stimulation to open the 8-door Dungia are recorded in this book. But what the hell is the second source of magic? But when he continued to look at it, he understood what kind of existence the second source of magic really was. The first floor of the magic library. Lysina came to a bookshelf where a few magic books were stored. Although this bookshelf stores several books. But she subconsciously picked up a book from the next shelf. As if this book exists for her. There are 4 words on the cover of the book. Fairy Mode. Chapter 27. Highly difficult tasks. Fairy Mode. Seeing the words on the cover of the book, Lysina was puzzled. Immortal? Opening the book, Lysina looked at it curiously. The fairy mode is a state-type magic that can only be practiced after a certain degree of affinity with nature. Once the cultivation is successful, the barrier between the body and the magical particles in the air can be eliminated, and it can be instantly transformed into its own magic power. Not only that, if you release elemental magic in the fairy mode, you can also greatly increase the power of the magic. The naturalization of the aura, the unlimited recovery of magic power, and the enhancement of elemental magic power are advantages. This is the fairy mode. After reading this introduction, Lysina was stunned. In this world, there is such a terrifying magic? The breath is naturalized, and no one can find a trace through perception magic. Infinite recovery of magic power is the ability that every magician desires most. The elemental magic power is increased, isn't this a magic weapon that comes with it, and it's still growable? Such an amazing magic must be learned. Lysina became more and more obsessed with studying the fairy pattern. In addition to the 3 of Mirajane, Yukino also came to the 3rd floor of the library. She also found the most suitable magic for her under the guidance of the magic library. Heroic Spirit Summoning Ceremony. Like celestial spirit magic, it belongs to summoning magic, but this magical summon can stay in the world for a long time. Opening the book, Yukino became more and more frightened. Summoning magic, whether it is celestial spirit magic or higher level summoning magic, has a common feature. That is, the summoned object cannot stay in the world for a long time. This is not only about the mana consumption of the summoners, but also whether the summons cannot be rejected by the aslant world. But this heroic spirit summoning ceremony is completely different. It can actually make the summoned object stay in the world for a long time. But after reading through it, Yukino gradually understood what was going on. It turns out that the so-called heroic spirits are the incarnations of heroes who have made great achievements and become legends and objects of faith after death. Summon the heroic spirit, the other party can choose a low-cost way to enter spiritualization, so they can stay in the world for a long time. But if you want to summon a heroic spirit, you need to have related holy relics and the heroic spirit's real name. Yukino thought to himself and understood the limitations of this magic. You must first have the corresponding holy relic and know the real name of the existence before you can summon it. Of course, the stronger the heroic spirit, the more difficult it will be to summon him. In addition to requiring huge magical power as support, there is also the purest holy relic, which is related to the heroic spirit. It can be blood, personal objects, etc. After understanding these restrictions, Yukino continued to read. These are just prerequisites, and more importantly, the ritual magic circle behind. This ritual magic circle is somewhat similar to summoning magic, but the specific method is completely different, and there are many kinds. Therefore, if Yukino wants to master the most comprehensive hero summoning ritual, he also needs to learn all the ritual magic circles that operate in different ways. In the Phoenix Guild, Sol Luo stands by the taskbar. At this time, the delegated tasks posted on the taskbar have been much less. This is the credit of the Mirajane people over the past few days. Today, most of the remaining tasks are more troublesome and difficult tasks. Destroy the beasts that approached the edge of tank from the evil ancient forest. This beast is suspected of reaching the level of the Beast Master, and the reward is 20 million J. Resolve the ghost invasion in the town of Cross near Tangkai City, and the reward is 5 million J. To crack the secret room of an ancient ruin, the reward is 25 million J, plus an ancient writing book. It was also after receiving these entrusted tasks that Sol Luo realized that it turned out that the vicinity of Tank City was not very peaceful. Whether it is the suspected Beast King approaching Tank City, or the ghost invasion of the next door cross town, it may cause heavy losses to Tank City. The former is undoubtedly, if it is really the Beast Master, it must be a city-destroying existence. The latter is more troublesome, the existence of ghosts, only the soul magic of the soul wizard can work on it. The archaeological relics and the tasks in the remote Tank City can be released first, and the most urgent tasks can be solved first. After thinking for a while, Sol Luo decided to handle these difficult commission tasks himself. At the same time, the magic library. The four of Mirajane stepped out. A confident smile appeared on everyone's face. Chapter 28. Cultivation of all members. The four Mirajane walked out of the magic library with confident smiles on their faces. As long as you master Susanoo, you will be able to blow that armor girl next time. Mirajane's smile gradually distorted, as if she saw Urza being beaten to her knees and begging for mercy. With the 8 doors Dungia, I can finally challenge a stronger monster. Elfman feels that he can try to challenge the Warcraft that he couldn't beat before. When he thought of receiving those monsters and strengthening himself, his eyes were suddenly full of fighting spirit. The fairy mode is so powerful. With the naturalization of the breath, it may be possible to explore the evil ancient forest and receive more powerful monsters. Lisana wanted to receive more powerful monsters while exploring the evil ancient forest. Although the heroic ritual magic, I only master the lowest level of summoning rituals. But you can also try to summon some dead celebrities. Yukino kept thinking about it, considering which celebrities should be summoned in the form of heroic spirits. Then all four of them noticed the other people's expressions and all smiled. Thinking of the magic they had learned, they all realized that others probably also learned similar powerful magic. But this kind of thing belongs to their own gains, so they didn't say much. It's just that several people have a deeper understanding of the strength of Sol Luo, the president. Sol Luo probably didn't expect that the magic library extracted his magic ideas for deduction, and it turned out to be these. The next morning, the evil ancient forest. The whole body receives the soul of Satan. Mirajane's body flashed with pitch-black magic, and the next moment it changed into another look. The nature of Suzuonangu's attributes is a cold magical attribute. With my original magic power, it may not be able to proceed smoothly. But after entering the state of receiving the soul of Satan, you can try to master it. Mirajane's use method flashed through his mind, and immediately began to act. I saw that she began to diffuse the magic in her body, and the dark magic light gradually emerged. But in the end, the dark magic only showed a gaseous appearance, unable to condense. Where is the problem? Why can't the magic power be condensed? He burst out of his strongest level of magic, but still couldn't condense it, which made Mirajane stop trying in a puzzled manner. At the same time, she was also very distressed. Even the rudimental Suzuonangu needed to be able to release her magic power to a solid level. But the magic power on her body is too loose, it can't be condensed at all. After pondering for a while, Mirajane suddenly stood up. By the way, why can't I be the same as Suseo and start with the part first? If you can't condense, then compress all the magic in one place first. Like Susanoo, start with the part first, and then consider the whole body. The whole process is like a rudiment, semi-mature and then complete body. After thinking it through, Mirajane once again exploded the dark magic in the body. But this time, it is no longer spreading magic power to the whole body. Instead, all the magic power is concentrated on the right hand. As she continued to compress, the dark magic became more and more profound, and gradually solidified from the gaseous state. Successful! Mirajane looked excited. But soon, she withdrew her solid magic. The magic is condensed, and it consumes too much magic. Even if Mirajane's magical power is huge, just the condensed magical power of her right arm almost depletes the magical power in her body. But Mirajane was not discouraged. Now that you have found a way, as long as you continue to work hard, you will be able to master Suseo no Ho sooner or later. At the same time, in another place in the evil ancient forest, Elfman was working out in sweat. Bayman Dungia has extremely high requirements for physical fitness. If it cannot achieve a physical fitness that is more than twice that of ordinary people, it will not even have the qualifications to open the first door. So before grasping the opening of the door, Elfman decided to exercise first. Lisana, who also entered the evil ancient forest, tried to enter the fairy mode. The cultivation method of the fairy mode is similar to that of meditation, but only after the natural affinity reaches a certain level, can you perceive nature and get the blessing of nature. Lisana got natural gems long ago, so it's very suitable for fairy mode. But it is still very difficult to perceive nature. That's why she chose the forest of evil ancient forest, and wanted to use the ecological environment here to cultivate the fairy model. As for Yukino, he was in the Phoenix Guild, holding a history book and constantly flipping through it. If you want to summon the heroic spirit, then naturally you have to choose a good target. So Yukino's first step is to make up for history and find a more suitable person to summon. Chapter 29. Do you call this magic? Hey? Mirajane, where did they go? In the guild, Soluo was just about to go out and destroy the monster that was approaching Tank City and was suspected of being a beastmaster. As a result, I found that there were not a few entrusted tasks on the bulletin board, and I was immediately puzzled. As usual, with Mirajane's enthusiasm, they had already swept more than a dozen commissioned tasks and went out. Why didn't you pick up a task today? And most importantly, the task is not accepted and the people are gone. Master Soluo, Master Mirajane, they are practicing magic in the periphery of the evil ancient forest. Yukino put down the history books and replied. That's it. Soluo nodded. Although Mirajane and the three of them are practicing receiving magic, as long as they defeat the demon/beast, they can receive it and turn it into their own power. But it is also a good thing to be able to master a few more magic tricks, at least to make up for the shortcomings. Just when Soluo thought so, the system reminder sounded in his ear. Ding! Guild member Mirajane, learn to master magic through the magic library Susanoo. Congratulations to the host for mastering Susanoo prototype. The prompt sound of the system caused Soluo to fall into a moment of chaos. The magic library is a place to learn magic. But the question is, Suzuo Nangu? Is this horse riding magic? Could it be that my flashy thoughts were also included in the magic library by the system and deduced into magic? Soluo suddenly understood the reason. After using the talent enhancement liquid, legend, Ling Mu had a lot of speculations about magic. Among them is the idea of engraving the powerful abilities of some other worlds with magic. But because of the difference in the world, he just thought about it casually. But I never expected that the magic library actually absorbed these ideas and successfully deduced them into magic. But more importantly, after they study Mirajane, I can also directly master it. Doesn't this mean that I don't need to learn those magics? As long as someone can successfully learn them, I can also directly master them. Thinking of this, Soluo's eyes lit up. Although these magical abilities are deduced from his imagination, but the magic that has been deduced still needs to be learned by himself in the magic library before he can master it. But after Mirajane and the others studied, he could directly master it. This saves him a lot of study time and can free up more energy to deal with other things. However, I don't know whether it is only the guild members who can learn from me so that I can directly grasp it, or if anyone learns, I can directly grasp it. This point has to be observed more later. Soluo pondered for a moment, and decided to pay more attention later. Yukino, I'm going out, the guild will leave it to you to take care of it. If there is a client coming, you can tell them first and let them wait a while. After Soluo gave an order, he walked out of the guild. The monster that is approaching Tank City is not very far away, but it will take some time to deal with it. So if a client comes to the door, Sol Luo can only make those people wait. After all, Yukino hasn't touched too many things, and it is not easy to judge whether the difficulty of the commission task matches the value of the corresponding reward. Simply put, it is easy to be pitied. Therefore, Sol Luo is not prepared to hand this matter over to Yukino. Outside the evil ancient forest. After Urza beheaded a wolf-shaped monster, he picked it up and returned to Tank City. This is her mission goal this time. Because this monster was always hunting in a small town near Tank City, somebody undertook this crusade mission. On the way back, Urza couldn't help but think of the Phoenix Guild again. That guy named Mirajane is really strong. And it looks like my age is close to me. In thought, Urza's eyes suddenly changed. No, if this continues, she will probably surpass me. When I go back this time, I must build a stronger armor. As long as it can withstand her attack, my sword will definitely be able to defeat her. Urza firmly believes that as long as the defense of the magic armor is strong enough, the next time you encounter Mirajane, you will be able to defeat the opponent. It's a pity that she hasn't realized it yet. Magic swordsman, the strongest place lies in the sharp sword in his hand. Blindly clinging to the armor will only make the demon swordsman take a detour. Boom! Suddenly, a roar interrupted Urza's thoughts. Over the forest a few kilometers away, a large swath of smoke rose. What happened? Urza was puzzled. The next moment, her pupils shrank suddenly, and her body trembled subconsciously. 1. No, 2 terrifying magic powers rising from afar. That level of magic power far surpasses Urza. The terrifying magic crushed her and made her feel suffocated for a while. Chapter 30. The First Battle of Suzuonangu. This kind of oppression was only felt in the uncle at the beginning. A heroic figure emerged in Urza's mind. That is the strongest in Fairy Tale Guild. She once wanted to challenge, but the opponent's only magical pressure made her unable to move. Don't even talk about moving, you don't even have the courage to draw a sword. And now, in this evil ancient forest, there are actually 2 existences comparable to that one? This shocked Urza. It's not easy to encounter this level of existence. Not to mention this level of battle. If this is the case, then let me see this battle. Although shocked by the pressure of magic, Urza did not flinch, but wanted to see this high-level battle with his own eyes. Only by seeing the real strong, can you become stronger in the constant pursuit. This is the belief that the uncle told Urza in the Fairy Tale Guild. Following the wave of magic, Urza rushed to the battlefield. When she arrived, the surrounding environment had changed tremendously. Potholes, a messy clearing, spreading more than thousands of meters in the wooded forest. Even the giant tree a few kilometers away was broken by the waste. It was only involved in the aftermath of the battle. Countless monsters fled here one after another, fearing that they would be affected by their lives. Unexpectedly, it was him. Urza was hiding 1,000 meters away, looking from a distance. When he saw the 2 figures fighting, his heart was shocked. One of them was actually the president of the Phoenix Guild, Sol Luo. On the opposite side of Sol Luo, there is a monster that is 4 meters high. The monster has the body of an orangutan, the claws of an eagle, a ferocious crocodile head, and a huge poisonous scorpion tail. This monster that looks like a suture monster is Sol Luo's mission goal this time. Beastmaster level Warcraft, Morito. It is written in the commission task that it is suspected of reaching the Beastmaster level. But when we really met, Sol Luo was immediately sure that this was a Beast King. S-level monsters are indeed powerful, no wonder everyone will be called the Beastmaster. After a moment of fighting, Sol Luo had a general idea of Morito in front of him. The opponent is different from the original Beastmaster Elfman received. This Morito not only has a strong physique, but also masters 4 kinds of magic. They are earth magic, poisonous magic, storm magic and gravity magic. Morito masters these 4 kinds of magic, coupled with the super-physical body. The average S-level wizard is not necessarily its opponent. And this guy has a very strong desire to kill. Even if Sol Luo has the blessing of natural affinity, he can't communicate with him. When they first met, they became the target of its attack. This kind of warcraft must never be left. Whether it is for a commissioned task, or to protect Tank City from being affected by the Phoenix Guild. Sol Luo will not let Morito leave here alive. Roar! Morito roared like a tiger, and his figure suddenly disappeared. When it reappears, it has reached Sol Luo's eyes. Morito hit it with a punch. But this punch did not hit Sol Luo. Rows of fiery red energy ribs blocked the attack and stood in front of Morlador. This is Susanoo. Susanoo's defensive power is really impeccable, but the consumption of magic power is a bit serious. Soluo quietly muttered to himself, completely ignoring Morito in front of him. This completely angered Morlador. The poisonous scorpion tail on its tail instantly formed a dark green magic circle. The poisonous scorpion tail suddenly attacked Soluo from the side. However, the giant red skeleton hand in energy form appeared out of thin air, grabbed the poisonous scorpion directly, and flew Morito fiercely away. Boom! In an instant, Morito was directly thrown hundreds of meters. The huge impact force took its body and smashed into the ground. Amidst the splashes of sand and rocks, smoke and dust were everywhere. But the magic power was much, but it quickly crawled out, and at the same time a cyan magic circle was constructed in his mouth. A series of air cannons ripped apart the smoke and dust and shot at Soluo. Just try this trick. Wrath of the Devil. Soluo took a deep breath and opened his mouth to spout endless dark storms. In this storm rage that gave power to the gods, Morador's air cannon was crushed in just one face. Boom! The dark storm swept through everything, giant trees, stones, flying insects, and even Morito, all swept into the air. The terrifying wind pressure blew the surrounding area, and the giant trees within a radius of several kilometers were overwhelmed by craziness. Urza, who was watching the battle nearby, also clung to a root of the tree, barely avoiding being blown out. Is this the president of the Phoenix Guild? It is too strong. Urza's body was floating in the air, but her eyes were fixed on Soluo. This level of power is far beyond her imagination. Perhaps only the president and uncle will have the power to fight against Soluo? The dark storm was still roaring, Morito was swept in mid-air, and the whole body was deformed and twisted. This storm has a strong strangling ability, even if Morito's physique reaches the S level, it is difficult to resist. It's almost time to finish. Soluo slowly walked towards Morito, and the magic of the flame gesture continued to emerge behind him. Rows of ribs in energy form appeared, followed by more bones in different parts. In the end, it became a 10-meter-high, flame-red half-length skeleton giant. This is the culmination of Susanoo's prototype. If it goes further, the half-length giant covering the meridians, flesh, and armor, then it is Susanoo's semi-mature body. But just the rudimentary Susanoo, it is already very powerful. A terrifying sense of oppression erupted from Susanoo's body. Obviously this Susanoo was burning with flames, but he revealed an extremely cold aura. Seeing the demon-like Susanoo, who was still struggling in mid-air by a dark storm, I shuddered. What kind of monster is this? Why does it feel scarier than the devil? Chapter 31. The possibility of unlimited Susanoo. Hey! A sword of flame emerged from the giant skeleton hand of Susanoo. The next moment, the sword of flame penetrated Morito's body directly. Puff! After being pierced through the chest by the sword of flame, Morito vomited a large amount of blood. But even with this fatal blow, it hasn't died yet. Instead, it is holding the sword of flame with its arms, roaring and wanting to pull it out. The vitality of monsters is far stronger than that of humans, while the vitality of S-level monsters is even stronger. But Soluo's eyes condensed, and the sword of flame exploded instantly, directly exploding Morito into pieces. After being dismembered, Morito, no matter how strong his vitality, could not die anymore. After solving everything, Soluo removed Susanoo and breathed a little. Susanoo can be easy to use, but the consumption of magic power is too terrifying. Even if Soluo has the powerful magic power of S level, he can't support Susanoo for a long time. It seems that the cultivation of magic power must continue. Soluo thought to himself. Although the S-level magic power sounds strong, I want to move towards the top 10 holy wizards, even the 12 shields of the holy, and even the level of Zeref. Meditation can't be left behind. Just as Soluo was preparing to collect Morito's corpse, to go back to prove the completion of this commissioned mission. The system reminder sounded in the ear again. Ding! Guild member Lysina has initially mastered the fairy mode. Congratulations to the host for mastering the fairy mode natural aura. Fairy mode. Soluo was surprised. After digesting the knowledge about the fairy model in his mind, even Soluo couldn't help but smile. After the fairy mode becomes the magic version, the effect is so powerful that it explodes. Not only is the breath naturalized, but more importantly, the infinite magic power and elemental magic power increase. No matter how you look at this thing, it looks like a replica of the fairy mode of the Senjo Zujian. If he can develop to the point where he can recover his magic power indefinitely, wouldn't he be able to drive Suzuo forever? Nowadays, the prototype of the magical version of Suzuo Nangu can turn the S-level warcraft. If it has reached a semi-mature body, a mature body, or even a complete body. Don't say it's the 10 great sages, even the 12 shields of the saints, Sol Luo is not afraid. What's even more exaggerated is that if you master the infinite recovery magic power of the fairy mode, you have to open Suzuo all the time. I am afraid that even the dragons will be hammered. But Sol Luo calmed down quickly. Infinite recovery of magic power does not mean that the intensity of magic power will increase. Opening the prototype of Suzuo Nangu, the consumption of magic power is already terrifying. If it is to open a stronger form, the S-level magic power is definitely not enough, and there is even no qualification to open it. Therefore, the cultivation that should be done still cannot be left behind, and even has to be accelerated. Simply dispose of Morito's corpse and put it away. Sol Luo glanced in one direction, but didn't care, and soon set off to return to Tank City. After Sol Luo walked away, Urza slowly walked out of the corner. Sure enough, it was discovered. But his strength is too strong, right? Moreover, what kind of magic is that trick of the skeleton giant, which is completely different from the guild leader's giant magic, but its power is not bad at all. Although shocked by Sol Luo's strength, Urza was full of doubts. Whether it is a dark storm or Susanoo, it is magic that she has never heard of. In particular, the sword of flame constructed by Susanoo cannot hold even the S-level monsters. Let's tell the chairman of this matter. The Phoenix Guild, it seems to be very different from other sorcerer guilds. Urza thought for a while, and decided to go back and tell Makarov about it. Maybe the chairman is well informed, can you get to know him? Kingdom of Fiori, the northern region. In a ruined city, hundreds of black wizards in black robes are standing on the ruined square. Their expressions at this time were full of fear and reverence. Because on the ruined stone platform in front, there is an old man standing. He is one of the 3 dark guilds of the Balam Alliance, the president of Grimoire Heart Guild, Hades. To be precise, this is Hades's mindfulness. Unexpectedly, the Catherine Guild would be destroyed by a mere person. But the old man will not blame you. No one could have imagined that the president of an unknown guild would have such strength. But the materials I carefully prepared fell into the hands of the Kingdom of Fiori. Hades's expression is extremely gloomy, and the terrifying magic power releases suffocating coercion. In the face of this terrifying magical pressure, all the black magicians couldn't support it, and they were overwhelmed to the ground. Just when they could not bear it and almost broke down, the coercion of terror suddenly disappeared. The black wizards couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, breathing fresh air greedily. Although this matter has nothing to do with you, you will take over all transactions in the northern region. So, I give you a chance to bring these decoy baits to attract all the monsters in the northern region together to form the largest wave of monsters. This time not only the town of Neg will be flattened, but Tank City, including the Phoenix Guild, will also be wiped out for the old man. If it can't be done, then you have no value. Hades's tone was extremely calm, but the killing intent in his eyes shocked the audience. Understood, Master Hades. We will definitely step down Neg Town and eliminate Tank City according to your will. Also, we will retake that batch of materials. A clever black wizard spoke quickly. As one of the 3 giants in the dark magic world, Hades certainly wanted to destroy the town of Neg and the city of Tangkei. But what he cares more about is the supplies. This involves the Grimoire Heart Guild, a very important plan. Anyone who blocked Hades's plan, even if it was the fairy tale guild he founded with his best friends, he will decisively destroy it. Chapter 32. Too many tasks, but also worry. After returning to Tank City, Sol Luo first contacted the client and handed over the task of defeating Morlador. Sol Luo then returned to the Phoenix Guild with a large sum of 20 million J. As soon as he stepped into the guild hall, Sol Luo saw that the hall was full of people. Master Sol Luo, they are all clients who want to publish tasks. Seeing Sol Luo coming back, Yukino trot over and explained. At this time, when those clients saw Sol Luo coming back, they all greeted him. You are the president of the Phoenix Guild, the super wizard who wiped out the Catherine Guild, Mr. Sol Luo, right? Mr. Sol Luo, you are finally back. I have an important matter to ask your guild. Please resolve it quickly and discuss the reward. Wait a minute, Don't jump in the line, obviously I came first. What's a joke, the matter on my side is very serious, and it must be resolved as soon as possible. All of a sudden, dozens of clients quarreled directly. Everyone please stay calm and come here one by one. Seeing so many clients, Soluo was also surprised, but soon smiled again. With these people, the Phoenix Guild has no worries about lack of missions at this stage. But with it comes another problem. That is not enough manpower. At present, except for the president of the Phoenix Guild, Soluo, there are only 4 members in the guild. I want Mirajane to complete so many tasks, God knows when they will be busy. And now it is the climax of the destruction of the Catherine Guild, and there may be more clients looking for it in the future. So Soluo also had to consider whether it was time to recruit new people. But before that, Soluo had to settle these clients first. It took more than 2 hours and Soluo sent these clients one by one after confirming the intelligence information and remuneration valuation. At the same time, dozens of commissioned tasks were posted on the bulletin board. In addition to Mirajane and Lysina, Elfman and Yukino are probably still learning new magic. With their efficiency, it is obviously impossible to complete so many tasks in a short time. It seems we have to continue recruiting new people. After secretly calculating, Soluo is ready to continue recruiting newcomers. But he is not ready to solicit in Tank City. After all, the talent profiler that was opened before has clearly marked Tank City. Although there are hundreds of people in Tank City, they are gifted with magic. But their talents are very low, even with the training blessings of the guild, it is difficult to achieve a major event. So if you want to recruit newcomers, you can only choose areas outside of Tank City. It is not so easy to recruit people. Without an artifact like the talent detector, it is really not easy to find a talented sorcerer seedling. And the ready-made powerful wizards are not easy to find. Many of them have joined the guild. Soluo thought for a while, and opened the guild interface at the same time, ready to check the reputation value of the guild. The higher the reputation value of the guild, the higher the reputation of the Phoenix Guild. At that time, you can also attract those talented wizards and take the initiative to join the Phoenix Guild. Phoenix Guild. Guild level, leave 2 to stand out, reputation value, 2545/10,000. President, Soluo. Guild members, Mirajane, Elfman, Lysina, Yukino. Guild building, Magic Library. The destruction of the Catherine Guild occurred 3 days ago. The level of the guild was upgraded to level 2 yesterday. But now, only 1 day has passed. The reputation value has risen from 500 to nearly 2005, which is a 5-fold increase. More importantly, the destruction of the Catherine Guild continues to spread. As this incident spreads farther and farther, the reputation value will rise to a terrifying point. Even within half a month, it is not impossible to be promoted to a level 3 guild. Almost forgot, there is another mission or it can increase reputation value. Soluo took down a task order from the bulletin board. That task is to solve the ghost invasion of Crosstown. Although ghosts are difficult to deal with. But Soluo has a power, and he may not be unable to solve the opponent. That is the power of spells. Ghosts belong to the soul level, and ordinary attacks and magic can hardly be effective against them. But the spell is different. The essence of mantra is the aggregation of all negative emotions, and it is the power that involves the spiritual level. It is still possible to use the power of spells to deal with ghosts. Once Soluo solved the ghost of the small town of Cross, then the reputation value of the guild will inevitably be greatly improved again. After all, this is saving a small town. Although it's not as good as eliminating the sensation from the entire Cathars Guild, the effect should be good. The increase in reputation value not only means that Soluo can open more advanced guild packs and unlock new functions of the system. More importantly, it can attract other talented wizards to join the Phoenix Guild. This is a good thing that kills 3 birds with 1 stone. Without wasting time, Soluo set off quickly. Chapter 33. Dragon Eater. The small town of Cross. Now here, it has long become a ghost domain. All the residents, even the wizards, hid in the cellar and shivered, not daring to go out at all. Because above the small town, there are dark ghosts floating everywhere. The quiet air enveloped the entire town, making it like a ghost world. Is this a ghost? I didn't expect it to be so serious. Not far from the small town of Cross, Soluo, who had already arrived, frowned as he watched the situation in the town from a distance. There are many ghosts floating over the small town of Cross, at least thousands of them. It seems to be resolved as soon as possible. The spell in Sol Luo's body suddenly erupted, and the pitch-black stripes spread all over his body. After a while, Sol Luo changed into another look. I saw his hands turned into dark and thick demon arms, his chest was covered by a set of sturdy black armor, and a pair of demon wings grew out of his back. At the same time, a pair of red horns grew on Sol Luo's head, and the pupils of his eyes turned into vertical red pupils. In addition, a scarlet spear appeared quietly and was held tightly in his hand. This is the posture of the ultimate spell, the Lord of all demons, that is, Sol Luo's first form of demonization. It's worthy of the ultimate spell, the body strength has been increased by at least 3 times. Feeling the majestic power surging in the body, Sol Luo was very satisfied. It is the first time he has entered a real demonization since he got the ultimate spell, Lord of 10,000 Demons. After entering the demonization, the increase in physique brought about is only secondary. More powerful is the long spear in Sol Luo's hand, the Demon King's blood spear. As long as the blood gun is injected with the power of the spell, the weapon will be completely liberated and release the power of terror. Regardless of the physical level or the soul level, they can't avoid the attack of the Demon King's blood spear. And completely liberated, the lethality of this blood gun will be increased by at least twice. Twisting his neck, Sol Luo stepped on the ground lightly, and his figure disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he had already arrived over the small town of Cross. Oh! Sol Luo's appearance attracted countless ghosts in the first place. They made the sound of howling ghosts and howling wolves, and rushed towards Sol Luo like crazy. At the same time, the Demon King's blood spear was also injected into the spell by Sol Luo, completely entering a state of liberation. The magma-like lines continue to emerge from the gun body. Following Sol Luo's whirl slash, a magnificent blood-colored circular spear light swept out. Boom! In an instant, a large piece of ghost was cut off by the spear light, disappearing like a balloon burst. With the disappearance of the ghost, the gloomy sky of the small town of Cross was also torn apart. The sun shines in. However, Sol Luo did not relax at all. Because he perceives a very strange existence, he is floating nearby. Although that existence is very similar to a ghost, it is far more powerful than a ghost. You can see me. A male voice came from his ear. Sol Luo turned around, but saw nothing. But he can be sure that this voice is the existence he perceives. Who are you? Why do you want to release the ghost to harm the town of Cross? Sol Luo asked. At the same time, he concentrated all the power of the spell on his eyes. Suddenly, a young figure appeared in Sol Luo's sight. This figure wore a loose shirt with a collar around his neck. On his melancholy face, the 2 big dark circles were very eye-catching. This weird appearance made Sol Luo immediately recognize the identity of this guy. Isn't this the Dragon Eater, Spirit Dragon race? If the opponent is not staying in the Diablo's Guild, how can he come here? My name is Lays, the Dragon Slayer of the Spirit, and I am also a ghost. For you to hear my voice and find out about me, I want to say thank you to you. Race said blankly, but there was a trace of sincerity on his face as he thanked him. As a ghost who has been wandering in the world for decades, what I want most is to be able to hear and communicate with other people. Sol Luo's appearance made him feel a little excited. If you thank you, you don't have to, I still want to know, what is your purpose for coming here? Sol Luo frowned slightly. The Dragon Eater is the 5th generation Dragon Slayer, which is the Dragon Slayer that gains power by devouring the Dragon Clan. In addition, almost all the Dragon Eaters gathered in one guild. That is the Diablo's Guild. This guild is currently an unknown existence in the entire Aslant world. But the other party's ambition is very big, want to swallow the 5 dragons to gain power. In addition, the Dragon Eater will appear as a team every time it takes action, and at least 3 members will be dispatched together. But now, Sol Luo only sees Lays alone. This is what makes him feel very strange. But as the thought turned, a bold guess appeared in Sol Luo's mind. Could it be that Lays at this time has not joined the Diablo's Guild after devouring the Spirit Dragon? Chapter 34. The Dragon Slayer Magic of Fighting Spirits. I didn't intend to come here, but as a ghost, I can only wander everywhere. Race said blankly. But then he changed his head again. But when I meet you, I have an idea. That is, I hope you can kill me. Or let me eat you. White flames emerged from Lay's hands. Not only that, but groups of white fireballs appeared beside him, and in each fireball, the roar of the ghost came out. These flames are the souls of the dead. It seems that you haven't encountered the Diablo's Guild. Sol Luo was also immediately ready for battle. But in his eyes, there was a different look. For Lays, Sol Luo has some knowledge. Race hoped that someone could kill him and get relief. But before meeting the one who can kill him, he will keep getting stronger. The reason why Race joined the Diablo's Guild was probably because he found his kind, or he wanted to stay among a group of people who could see his existence. But the prerequisite for everything is to defeat him. Otherwise, he will swallow the opponent's soul mercilessly. Guild of Diablos? Never heard of it. You seem pretty sure I will meet this guild. But it doesn't matter, I hope you can kill me, or let me accept your soul. Rice waved his hands, and countless white flames formed a wave of flames and attacked Sol Luo. I won't be killed by you so easily. Sol Luo shook the blood gun, and the horrible gun light swept away in a half-moon shape. Hey! Suddenly, the spear's power extinguished a large area of flames like a broken bamboo. But the next moment, many voices came from Sol Luo's ear. Don't kill me. I'm already dead, why are you destroying my soul? Goddamn living, go to hell with you. Humph, just the loser who fell in the hands of the ghost, dare to scream in my ears. Sol Luo snorted coldly, and the terrifying spell suddenly broke out, instantly dispelling the voice of the dead in his ears. Every ball of Race's flame is the soul of the dead. They are all losers who died in the hands of Lays. You can actually ignore the voice of the dead. It seems that you are a man with a firm heart. However, what is your power? It's not like magic, but it has an abyss of malice. Lays' always indifferent expression suddenly condensed, and he couldn't understand Sol Luo's power. It's just a spell, which gathers the negative emotions of people's hearts into one. Sol Luo gave a rare explanation, and then the figure suddenly disappeared. The next moment, his body appeared next to Lays, and the blood spear that gathered the huge spell power also exploded in an instant. Spell? It's really powerful. However, I will accept your soul. Race is not without defense. A huge magical power burst out from him, and a huge white dragon claw instantly fell from the top of Sol Luo's head. Dragon Soul. At this moment, Sol Luo felt a bitter chill. That is a blow from the soul level. Once it is attacked by this dragon claw, the soul will inevitably be dug out. But Blood Gun Dragon Shadow Strike. The blood gun in Sol Luo's hand turned instantaneously, slamming it towards the sky. A terrifying spell lingers on the blood spear, transforming into a huge blood dragon, roaring towards the white dragon claws. With just one blow, the huge white dragon claw was penetrated by the blood dragon. How can it be? Race's eyes widened, his face full of disbelief. The soul of the dragon is a very powerful move in the magic of slaying the dragon of the spirit. Its ability can dig out the opponent's soul at the moment of attacking the opponent and turn into a white fireball. But such a weird and powerful move was easily cracked by Sol Luo. Is this a spell? It's very similar to the demons I have encountered before. But this guy's spells are stronger than those of existence. It seems that now I can only choose to possess spirit. Lays' figure floated quickly in mid-air, flying away from Sol Luo continuously. At the same time, he used the power of the Dragon Slayer magic to directly expand his perception power by dozens of times. At this moment, Lays could not only perceive the humans in the small town of Cross. Even the nearby Tank City, the evil ancient forest, and even the humans in other surrounding areas can perceive it. However, although the spirit can increase Lays' power, it needs to have a stable synchronization rate with the spirit object to be able to fight for a long time. There are only 3 ways to increase the synchronization rate. The first is the existence equal to or beyond the magic power of race. The second is the existence that has experienced the abyss of death. The third type is someone who has a blood relationship with Lays. However, Lays has no blood relatives at all. Therefore, only the first or second method can be used. Lays' brain keeps turning, but it's a pity that in the remote northwestern region of Tang City, it is difficult to find someone who meets his conditions for increasing the synchronization rate. Want to escape? Just as Lays was frantically looking for a suitable target, Sol Luo's figure suddenly appeared beside him. Hey! A white flame appeared instantly and hit Sol Luo directly. However, under the suppression of the blood spear, Lays' spirit of the dragon slaying magic cannot set off any storms at all. It seems that I can only use that move. Witnessing the power of Sol Luo, especially the dragon soul and spirits were unable to produce any effect. Race decided to activate the strongest move of the dragon slaying magic of the spirit. Exterminating the Dragon Upanishad Dragon Soul Reincarnation. Chapter 35. Two-stage demonization. Thousands of white fireballs floated from Lei's body. Each fireball represents a soul. And now, these white fireballs are all gathered together and then swallowed by Lei's. Boom! The magic of horror erupted from Lei's in an instant. Soul Luo, who was close to Chi-Chi, was directly bounced away for a certain distance. I saw white fluorescent light appearing on Lei's body, and a huge dragon shadow appeared behind him. This is the dragon soul and the original posture of the spirit dragon. But compared to those dragons that are tens of meters long, this spirit dragon is only 15 meters long. Moreover, this spirit dragon is not in the posture of a Western dragon, but in the appearance of an Eastern dragon. You are very strong, even stronger than the so-called S-rank wizard I have encountered. But in my current state, the power of several S-rank wizards is gathered together. Even the top 10 holy wizards selected by the Ishgar Continental Council, I can't beat them. Lei spoke proudly, with a gesture of victory. But at the same time he also felt a little distressed. Because of the release of Dragon Soul reincarnation, the dragon extinguishing profound meaning, his family was wiped out. Those souls, but he has accumulated decades of heritage. The spirit's dragon-killing magic is different from the ordinary dragon-killing magic. Except for the two special moves of Dragon Soul and Possession, other moves such as Roar, Iron Fist, Wing Strike, etc. need to enter the Dragon Soul reincarnation state before they can be released. To put it simply, other Dragon Slayer tricks need to be enlarged before they can be released. Although in the Dragon Soul state, all related magic moves will be improved, but the cost is also very high. However, if he can kill me, then I will be free. If he can't kill me, then I can only continue to accumulate my soul until I meet the one who can kill me appears. Lei said silently in his heart. Dragon extinction upright? Sure enough, this guy's strength is very strong. Seeing Lei's enter the Dragon Soul state, Soul Luo couldn't help nodding. Every Dragon Eater has a very powerful combat power, and almost everyone has a combat power above the S-level wizard. Even the combat power of the S-level wizard can only be regarded as the weakest existence among the Dragon Eaters. Able to gain power by devouring dragons. Even if the dragon is in the weakest state, it is not what an ordinary wizard can do. Therefore, Soul Luo is not surprised that Lei's can show this kind of combat power. In that case, let you see my true strength. Second stage demonization. Suddenly, the sky was dark. The power of the black spell is constantly erupting from Soul Luo's body. A trace of black thread overflowed from his body, wrapped around his body, and finally turned into a huge black egg. Crack! There was a broken sound, and Soul Luo walked out slowly, showing another posture. On both sides of his forehead are still a pair of red devil horns, and the pupils of the eyes are still red vertical pupils. But the black armor on his chest disappeared, revealing strong abdominal muscles. The pair of demon wings behind it turned into the purest black, and as the output of the spell expanded, it turned into black demon wings that shielded the sky and the sun. At the same time, there is a red demon's tail behind Soul Luo, and the end of the diamond shape flashes with a hint of metal luster, and you can see that it is very lethal at a glance. The previous Soul Luo was the first form of demonization, which is the worst form of demon. And now he is the real demonization of the ultimate spell, the Lord of 10,000 Demons. Feeling that his body strength has increased several times again, Soul Luo just feels more enjoyable than ever. Conjuration 2-stage demonization, the second form that can be entered only by compressing his spell power. This form can be so powerful, entirely because of the ultimate spell, the Lord of 10,000 Demons. Ling Long's roar. Perceiving the horror aura from Soul Luo's body, Lei decisively attacked first. But before his attack was launched, Soul Luo who appeared suddenly grabbed his neck and flew out. How can there be such a speed? Lei was shocked in his heart, but before he had time to think about it, he saw the blood-colored spear lights continue to attack. Just when Lei was about to release magic to resist the spear light in front of him, his pupils shrank suddenly, and a bitter chill filled his entire soul. Danger! Hey! Soul Luo didn't know when he appeared next to Lei again, and the blood spear swept away suddenly, blasting the opponent out again. And the direction the opponent is flying is exactly that scarlet spear light. Boom! The attacks on the soul level continued to fall. After resisting a few times, Lei felt that his soul was about to collapse. And the dragon soul behind him also changed bright and dark, as if it would dissipate at any time. Why? Obviously my magic power is so strong, but I still can't beat you. Race yelled unwillingly. He still couldn't understand why his magic power far surpassed Sol Luo, yet he was still crushed to death. No matter how strong the magic power is, it is nothing more than magic's lethality. If you can't even attack the opponent, what's the use of magic power no matter how strong it is? Sol Luo spoke calmly. After entering the second stage of demonization, not only his physical fitness has been improved several times, but his spell power has also been greatly improved. That's why he can explode with a speed that Lays can't capture, and an extremely powerful attack. Race was shocked when he heard the words. But he quickly showed a smile of relief and removed the dragon soul behind him. This battle, you won. Chapter 36. Recruiting Lays. Race is very free and easy to admit defeat. In other words, if he continues to fight like this, he will undoubtedly die. So he no longer wastes time. Exiting the dragon soul state directly, Lays is ready to meet Sol Luo's killer blow. However, he waited for a long time, but did not wait for the expected attack. It's a shame to kill you. Come to my guild, you will get to know more companions. From then on, you will no longer be a lonely wandering soul. Sol Luo didn't plan to kill Lays, instead he chose to solicit the opponent. The reason is simple, the Phoenix Guild currently lacks high-end combat power like Lays. And Lays is not essentially killing innocent people. Those souls turned into white fireballs are actually heinous people. Sol Luo can be sure of this. Mastering the power of spells, he is very sensitive to all negative emotions. Sol Luo can clearly perceive that the souls that were previously destroyed and turned into white fireballs are all evil people. It is precisely because of this that Sol Luo has the idea of recruiting Lays. If the opponent is really the kind of existence that likes to kill, Sol Luo will decisively eliminate it instead of soliciting the opponent here. Let me join your guild. Race was taken aback when he heard the words. He couldn't understand the man before him. The winner gets everything, the loser loses his life and soul. This is the conclusion he reached after wandering for decades. But Sol Luo gave him a different feeling. Seeing Sol Luo's serious expression, Lays couldn't help falling into silence. If you don't mind that I am a ghost, then I would love to join your guild. After a period of thinking, Lays finally made a choice. Although he really hoped that Sol Luo would kill him, he heard that he could get to know more companions, and there was still a trace of desire in his heart. If it's the person in front of you, maybe more people can see me, right? Lays thought to himself, with a glimmer of expectation in his eyes. From today, you are a member of the Phoenix Guild. Sol Luo also smiled after Lays agreed. At the same time, the sound of the system also rang from my ears. Congratulations to the host for successfully recruiting the Dragon Slayer of the Spirit. Get rewards, Soul Magic Dream Disruption, Spirit Dragon Body, exclusive to Lays. In an instant, an extremely profound magic appeared in Sol Luo's mind. Soul Magic Soul Dream Shattered, this is a magic involving dreams and souls. As long as he masters this magic, Sol Luo can not only easily crack the enemy's dream and soul magic, but also pull the opponent's soul into the dream he has built. In Sol Luo's own dreams, he is the absolute master, destroying the opponent's soul is just a matter of thought. As for the body of the spirit dragon, Lays can get a physical body. Moreover, this physical body has a perfect fit with the spirit's dragon slaying magic. If Lays has the body of a spirit dragon, he can not only maintain his human form, but he can even enter the dragon to a certain extent. As for the thorough dragonization like Acknowledge, it still needs to slaughter the dragons and contaminate them with dragon blood. Let's go back with me later, I will let you live in this world again, so that everyone can discover your existence. Sol Luo knew Les's desire and gave him a promise. Subsequently, Sol Luo found the client of the task in the small town of Cross. You came too in time, President Sol Luo. If you come one step later, I don't know how much our town will lose. Thank you so much, we can finally live back in the sun. A large crowd of residents flocked to surround Sol Luo. It took more than half an hour before Sol Luo escaped from the enthusiasm of the residents. This is too enthusiastic, right? Sol Luo feels helpless. But my heart couldn't help but rejoice. Because of this wave, the reputation of the guild has once again been greatly improved. Guild level, leave 2 to stand out, reputation value, 3245/10,000. Originally the reputation value was 2005, but now it has become more than 3200. Excluding the Kaiser Guild incident, the town of Cross has brought him at least 500 points of reputation. It's a pity that the calculation of reputation value is not a point for one person. Otherwise, there are more than 10,000 people in the small town of Cross, and the guild can at least be upgraded to level 3. Soluo curled his lips. But it's just talking. The reputation value is indeed difficult to improve, but every time it reaches the standard upgrade, it will make a huge change in the guild. In addition to the extremely valuable guild package, the new functions unlocked by the system are also extremely powerful. I don't know what other powerful functions will be unlocked after the magic library. The addition of the new member Lays also brought some improvements to the guild's reputation. It's only 10 o'clock. After all, Lays is a ghost, and few people can perceive his existence. Even a wizard who practices soul magic may not be able to find him. So there is no reputation and influence at all. But after Lays gets the body of the spirit dragon, with his strength, he will surely be famous for the entire kingdom of Fiori soon. Chapter 37. The Perfect Hitman. Take Lays back to the Phoenix Guild. Soluo discovered that the guild was actually empty. Obviously, Mirajane and the others either ran to perform the task or continued to practice. The system, extract the body of the spirit dragon, and look like Lazy's appearance. The first thing Soluo did when he returned to the guild was to give Lays a brand new body. Although in a ghost state, Lays is not afraid of all natural factors, but it is still very inconvenient after all. With the body, not only can he satisfy his inner desires, but the difficult tasks on the bulletin board can also be handed over to him. Perfect to kill two birds with one stone. Soon, a body exactly like Lay's appearance appeared next to Soluo. This is... Louis floating in the air looked shocked. He can perceive that the body in front of him is his most perfect container. And unlike the attached spirit, as long as he enters this body, he can live in reality forever, and he won't turn into a ghost every time. Who are you? Lays looked at Soluo, only feeling that the person in front of him was as mysterious as a fan. Originally, he thought that Soluo's promise might take a long time to be fulfilled, and it might even be just empty talk. Unexpectedly, this was only a short time, and he was given a container that suits him best. For a time, Soluo's image in Lays' heart became extremely stalwart and mysterious. I'm just your president, nothing more. Hurry up and enter this body. Soluo smiled and pointed to the body of the spirit dragon. After Lays heard this, he didn't say much, and silently entered the body of the spirit dragon. But in his heart, he was full of gratitude and respect. Maybe it's a good choice to be under his command. Lays thought in his heart that the soul quickly merged into the body of the spirit dragon. The next moment, this body opened its eyes, and the majestic magic power suddenly exploded. But just for an instant, these magic powers were reduced by Lays. This body is really amazing. Sir President, I won't repay you for your gift. No matter how difficult things are in the future, please tell me to do it. After getting acquainted with the body initially, Lays was full of excitement and came to Soluo and said sincerely. This is not in a hurry, you are already a member of the Phoenix Guild, so put the guild crest on it. Soluo took out the seal of the guild and quickly put the phoenix emblem on Lays. Looking at the pure white phoenix coat of arms on the back of his hand, Lays suddenly felt a sense of finding home. Starting today, he is no longer a ghost wandering outside. After that, Soluo took Lays to get to know the Phoenix Guild, and informed him of the existence of Mirajane and other members of the guild. Finally, he took Lays to the task bar. Recently our guild has ushered in an outbreak period, and many tasks are entrusted here every day. Mirajane are all newcomers to the wizards, and they can handle low-level tasks, but these high-level tasks are still very difficult for them. So, I hope you do your best to help complete these tasks. Soluo pointed to the bulletin board and said a dozen difficult tasks. The difficulty of these tasks is relatively high, almost all of them are comparable to S-level tasks. So Soluo intends to let Lays handle it. Because the opponent's strength is not weak. Soluo opened the guild interface and explored the information interface of Lays. Les. Identity, member of the Phoenix Guild. Magic, S-level wizard. Abilities, spiritual dragon slaying magic, dragon soul, possession, dragon slayer uprising, dragon soul turning, ling long roar. Rice's basic combat power is already at the level of an S-level wizard. If he accumulates enough souls to activate the move of dragon soul reincarnation, then his combat power will increase dramatically in a short time. So let him handle the difficult tasks on the bulletin board, and he is completely competent. In this way, Sol Luo will have more time to deal with other things. For example, ties with the council or other wizard guilds. This is what he, as the president, needs to deal with. Of course, this world is the truth, but it also pays attention to the worldliness. If the Phoenix Guild wants to develop further, it is necessary to deal with the council and other guilds. I see. After learning about the Phoenix Guild, Lays nodded. Then, under Sol Luo's bewildered gaze, he took down all the difficult tasks directly from the bulletin board. I will complete all these tasks within a week. Holding a stack of task lists in his hand, Lays said seriously. His idea is actually very simple. The Phoenix Guild was able to hold him, and Sol Luo even gave him a perfect container. Such kindness far exceeds the help of ordinary guild members. So in order to prove his value to the Phoenix Guild, Lays decided to start with the commissioned task. Okay, but don't be too reluctant. It's not too late to get used to this body before performing the task. The corner of Sol Luo's mouth twitched slightly, and he persuaded him. Chapter 38. Makarov's Ideas. After several days passed, the reputation of the Phoenix Guild grew stronger and stronger. The commissioned tasks have continued one after another, and the bulletin board is about to post 300 commissioned tasks. Although Mirajane, Yukino, and Lisana were very active in their missions, they still couldn't keep up with the increase in missions. As for Elfman, he is still exercising constantly, and his physique is getting stronger day by day. At the same time, the existence of Lays was also known to them. For the new members of the guild, Mirajane and others are also very welcome. But after learning that Lays was very strong, Mirajane decisively invited to fight. And the result is not hard to guess. Mirajane was defeated by Lys in less than 10 moves. Although Mirajane's talent is very strong, she is still in the growth stage after all. Moreover, it takes a short time to master and receive magic when really starting to practice. In contrast, Lays is already a strong person who has grown up, and can naturally suppress her easily. Outdoors in Tank City, Sol Luo walks alone by the lake. In his hand, he held an invitation letter. This is an invitation letter for a regular meeting. The regular meeting is a friendly banquet jointly initiated by the presidents of all the wizards' guilds in the Kingdom of Fiori. On the surface, they are communicating together and sharing their own experiences. But Sol Luo knows very well that the essence of this routine meeting is to brag and get to know people. Originally, Sol Luo just wanted to learn more about the council from the head of the council at the council's stronghold. But the other party gave him this invitation letter, which made Sol Luo a little surprised. Regular meeting invitation letter, it seems you can try to get to know more guild leaders. Sol Luo put away the invitation letter, thinking in his heart. This regular meeting is actually a good opportunity for the Phoenix Guild. Getting acquainted with many guild presidents and developing your own network will benefit the Phoenix Guild. And if the relationship with a certain guild is close enough, you can even initiate a friendship team to handle more difficult tasks together. Once those tasks are completed, the reputation of the Phoenix Guild will be further spread by leveraging the original reputation of other guilds. Among them, the one that attracted Sol Luo the most attention was the Fairy Tale Guild. Fairy Tale Guild has a history of more than 100 years. Whether it is a network or reputation, it is enough to slap other sorcerer guilds in the Kingdom of Fiori. So if you can form a team with Fairy Tale Guild, the reputation of the Phoenix Guild will definitely increase rapidly. Ding! Elfman has initially mastered the 8-door Dungeon. Congratulations to the host for mastering the 8-door Dungeon. The first door opened. Just as Sol Luo thought about it, a system reminder came in his ear. Bayman Dungeon. No wonder Elfman exercises like crazy, it turns out that's the reason. Sol Luo understands Elfman's actions during these days. First, Suzuonangu, then the fairy model. Now it is Bayman Dungeon again. It has to be said that the magical abilities chosen by the three of Mirajane are all very potential moves, and they are indeed very suitable for them. As for Yukino, there hasn't been any movement yet. But Sol Luo always felt that the other party might bring him a bigger surprise. As for the new member race, he has not yet entered the magic library. Before he boasted about Haikao, so during this time he was doing crazy tasks. However, the efficiency is indeed very high. I have completed more than a dozen difficult commissioned tasks in less than a week, and now I am just short of the last task. President Sol Luo, here is a letter from you. Suddenly, a magic homing pigeon flew to Sol Luo's side. My letter. Sol Luo suspiciously caught the magic letter held by the carrier pigeon. Turning on the magic in the letter by magic, Sol Luo quickly saw the content of the letter. This is... Sol Luo's eyes suddenly condensed. The small town of Magnolia. The lively fairy tale guild became silent due to Urza's return. Even the two stabbing brothers in the guild, Gray and Natsu, were beaten to the ground by Urza. President, this was the situation at the time. Urza reported everything that Tank had experienced to Makarov, who was sitting on the cabinet. I really didn't expect that the once lonely Phoenix Guild would actually be reborn from the ashes. It seems that this new president is not an ordinary person. Makarov couldn't help but sigh. When he heard that Sol Luo easily defeated the S-level monster, he knew that this Phoenix Guild would inevitably rise in a short period of time. Although there are many wizard guilds in the kingdom of Fiori, but most of them are very weak. There are not many guild wizards at all, with S-level standards. It can be expected that the Phoenix Guild will definitely be in the hands of Sol Luo, becoming one of the strongest guilds in the kingdom of Fiori. This made Makarov a little curious about Sol Luo and the Phoenix Guild. Of course, what interests him most is Sol Luo Nangu used by Sol Luo. In Urza's description, that move seems to be no weaker than his giant magic. This made Makarov a rare idea. President Makarov, here is a letter from you. Suddenly, a magic homing pigeon flew into the fairy tale guild. Oh? I didn't expect someone to write to me, I hope it's not the group of people from the council. Makarov took the letter with some guilty conscience. Recently, the thorns in the guild are too good at doing things. Every time they perform a task, they are doing damage everywhere. Therefore, during this time, Makarov was scolded by members of the council. But when Makarov finished reading the letter, his expression immediately became serious. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. Neg Town, Agni, you have to hold on and wait for our support. Chapter 39. The biggest wave of monsters in history. Northern region, Neg Town. At this time, the atmosphere of the whole town is heavy. On the streets, apart from the army and the wizard, no ordinary people dared to stay. Tattoo. The armored armies walked in groups, with neat and quick steps, which were completely different from the troops stationed in other cities. Countless magic arrays continue to emerge on the city wall tens of meters high, strengthening the defense of the city wall. How far is the warcraft tide from here? On the high wall, Agni, commander of the Third Army of the Kingdom of Fiori, asked his subordinates. Report to Lord Legion that the tide of monsters is heading straight to Neg Town from the Nirsk Mountains, and it is expected to arrive here in 3 hours. Although the situation is critical, the soldier is not at all nervous or flustered. 3 hours? Time is too tight, I can't wait for the support of the Wizards Guild. If the council wants to mobilize troops, it will take at least 6 hours to get here. Ugh! Agni frowned and sighed helplessly. If it's a normal wave of monsters, then his legion is sure to defeat it. But the scale of this wave of warcraft is unprecedented. According to the intelligence of the spies, there were at least 100,000 monsters attacking Neg Town this time. At least. In other words, there may be more. In addition to the huge number of ordinary warcrafts, what Agni is more worried about is the top warcrafts in the wave of warcrafts, that is, the S-level warcrafts. This time the beasts ransacked, almost 90% of the beasts in the entire northern region were swept in. If even those S-level monsters are involved, there will be at least 30 S-level monsters. Such a terrifying amount and combat power were simply beyond the reach of the Third Army. Even if the Kingdom of Fiori concentrates its national forces, it is difficult to win. This wave of monsters is too weird, and there must be certain forces behind it. Maybe the other party came with the supplies paid last time, so he will launch this unprecedented wave of monsters at any cost. Agni knows that the reasons behind this wave of warcraft are not simple. But until now, how to defend Neg Town is the primary goal. Order to go down, prepare all the soldiers for battle, and take out all the magic weapons lousy in 3 hours. We must guard the line of defense, and not let the monsters break through our line of defense. Agni quickly issued the order. Then he hurried back to the barracks and wrote a letter. Nyoji, if I die in this battle, you must escape and pay this trust to my mother. Agni said earnestly to the adjutant Noj. Legion commander, I will not run away, even if I die, I will die in front of you. Nyoji's tone was extremely firm. Fart, you are the one who will take my place in the future, you must not die here. You are still young, the kingdom will rely on you young people in the future. Agni slapped Nyoji on the head, then left without looking back and rushed to the front of the battlefield. Are you sure you want to go to Neg Town with us? In the Phoenix Guild, Sol Luo's face was extremely serious. Of course, we can't just watch you and Lays heading to Nag Town. And our strength is not weak, we can definitely contribute. Mirajane said stubbornly. By her side, Lysina, Elfman, and Yukino all have a firm face. Well, this incident is very dangerous, and I may not be able to take care of you all the time. Once I help you more than 3 times, you will leave me honestly. Sol Luo thought for a while, and agreed to Mirajane's choice of 4. But he also drew the bottom line. Once Mirajane and the others have had more than 3 crises, Sol Luo will let them withdraw from the battle. In the past, Sol Luo feels relieved to let them fight the monsters. But this time is different. The wave of monsters that will attack Nag Town is said to have exceeded 100,000. In this case, let alone Mirajane. Even the Saint's 10 great wizards did not have certainty that he could leave alive. But letting them experience this kind of thing will also help them grow in the future. So after thinking about it, Sol Luo decided to take them. Then set off. In addition to the Phoenix Guild, many wizard guilds in the Kingdom of Fiori also received requests for help from the town of Nag. Except for a small number of weak guilds, most of the other guilds all responded to the call and embarked on the road to Nag Town. For a time, the entire Kingdom of Fiori was surging. In the north, hundreds of kilometers away from the town of Nag. On the white snowy field, heads of monsters kept rushing, and the red eyes seemed to be stimulated by something. In the sky, a black magic airship flew slowly. Looked at the whole land below was covered by the body of the beast. Hades couldn't help showing a dark smirk. This time I want to let you know and hinder my fate. Chapter 40. Arriving in Nag Town. You. The magical train exploded at an extremely fast speed and continued to speed. Originally starting from Tank City, it took 4 hours to reach Nag Town. However, an emergency event such as the Warcraft Tide occurred in Nag Town. Therefore, Sol Luo and others who support Nag Town were given the privilege to ride a special magic train. It only takes 2 hours to reach the town of Nag. The whistle gradually diminished, and the magical train quickly stopped in the station. Sol Luo and others got off the car quickly and rushed to the front line of defense in Nag Town. At this time, the tide of monsters had not arrived, so if Sol Luo naturally contacted Agni first, he made a plan for the next battle. Ho! At this moment, a huge magic airship flew quickly from not far away. Sol Luo looked up. This turned out to be the enchanted airship of the Blue Pegasus Guild, Christina. In addition, many people gathered on this airship. This is within the Kingdom of Fiori, the wizards in all the large wizards guilds. Fairy Tale, the ruler of ghosts, Blue Pegasus, Quattro Cerberus. It's amazing, I didn't expect them to rush here in this way. The soldiers on the street also saw the airship in the sky, and suddenly exclaimed. Hey! The magical airship quickly fell to the clearing, and all the magicians walked down quickly from above. The most conspicuous among them are the leaders Makarov and Jose. Both are the top 10 magic guides, and naturally they are also the main combat power of this incident. Then other wizards also walked out. Sol Luo saw many familiar faces in it. There are Laxus and Urza from the Fairy Tale Guild, and there is Arya, the dominator of the Spectre. Jura at Lamia Scale, One Knight at Blue Pegasus, Bacchus at Quattro Cerberus, etc. There are many other magicians. Although Sol Luo doesn't know him, they are not weak. You are Sol Luo, the president of the Phoenix Guild, right? I didn't expect to be so young. Makarov walked towards Sol Luo, his face extremely surprised. Oh, now is not the time for small talk, the tide of monsters is even more important. Jose Yin and Yang on the side said a weird thing, obviously not dealing with Makarov. In this regard, the members of the other guilds did not comment. After all, Makarov and Jose, the guild behind, not only have a history of more than 100 years, but they are also the top 10 masters of the Holy Spirit. So in the face of this situation, silence is the best approach. Of course, this is mainly because the president of Blue Pegasus Bob and the president of Quattro Cerberus Goldmine are not there. Otherwise, based on their friendship with Makarov, they might stand up and scold Jose. It's nice to meet the wizards of other guilds, but it's really not the time to chat. Why don't we go to Agni together? Sol Luo greeted Makarov and then said. Well, it is true. Counting the time, the wave of monsters is almost here, we must make a battle plan as soon as possible. This wave of Warcraft is unprecedented, and there must be no sloppy. The wizards of other guilds also nodded one after another. Afterwards, everyone moved towards the first line of defense in Neg town. After passing through the hurdles, all the talents came to the 15-kilometer defense line outside the town of Neg. After observing this way, Sol Luo got a rough idea of the battle deployment in Neg town. Neg town is a place that must be guarded. So long ago, many magicians had set up countless magic circles on the city wall. There are also 3 lines of defense, 5 kilometers away, 10 kilometers away, and 15 kilometers away from the town of Neg. The duty of the forefront line of defense is to carry the first wave of frontal impact of the monster wave. At the same time, it is also responsible for destroying most of the power of the monster wave. The second line of defense is to set up many magic weapons, on the one hand to eliminate the fish that slipped through the net, on the other hand, to relieve the pressure on the first line of defense. As for the third line of defense, a large-scale strategic magic weapon was deployed. Different from the second line of defense, the magic weapons of the third line of defense are all beings with the most lethality and the widest range of attacks. These strategic magic weapons are the first shots to start this battle. Its duty is also very simple, that is, bombing all the monsters behind the wave of monsters, and destroying as many as possible at once. After arriving at the first line of defense, there are several military camps. Among them, there are 20,000 soldiers from the Third Army of the Kingdom of Fiori. There are also thousands of wizards, all of whom live in the northern region. When this happened in the northern region, they naturally couldn't stand by and watch. After all, this is their hometown. Once the town of Neg falls, the entire northern region is almost a paradise for Warcraft. So they all joined this battle to resist this wave of monsters together. After learning that the wizards of many guilds had come, Agni walked out of the barracks with a serious face wearing a knight's heavy armor. Everyone, this time the incident is extremely serious, so I won't say much nonsense. Agni took a deep breath and pointed to the front of the defense line and said, "In this wave of monsters, our army will rush to the forefront and use a line-shaped battle formation to resist the attacks of monsters. So the flanking positions of the 2 sides are left to you. The other wizards will fight with you. In this battle, no one can guarantee that I will survive. I am very happy and guilty of your arrival. But in order to protect the town of Neg and prevent the monsters from going south and crossing the evil ancient forest into the hinterland of the kingdom, so I need to use your power to repel the monsters. So far, thank you very much." After speaking, Agni gave a military salute to everyone. "It doesn't have to be this way, we are all part of the kingdom of Fiori, so naturally we won't stand by. So this battle, the old man, I accompany you to fight." Makarov stood up and said impassionedly. "Yes, we have to fight this battle. Once the town of Neg falls, it will be a disaster for us. So, this battle will be won." More and more people stood up for their support, which moved Eni's heart. "Then please be prepared, the battle is about to begin." Agni nodded to everyone, and then left with his subordinates to mobilize the army and prepare to face the tide of monsters frontally. The remaining wizards were divided into 2 teams and walked towards the 2 wings respectively. The left wing is represented by Jose, and the right wing is represented by Makarov. Sol Luo and others all walked towards the right wing, where Makarov was located. Almost shortly after they took their place, the earth began to shake. Boom! On the plateau thousands of meters away, monsters ran wildly one after another. The world of Warcraft that emerged from behind is even more endless. In less than a minute, more than 30,000 monsters appeared in front of everyone. And this number is still increasing crazily.